The Downhill World Cups this year can do no wrong. Once again, we have had an excellent race. Leogang delivered. If you've not seen it yet, please go redbull.tv, search for the live events, watch the Leogang downhill race. Come back here, let's get chatting about it. This week I've got some interviews and we're also going to overlay some imagery, so we're going to keep it a bit more interesting this time. In the junior women's category, Valley Hole stamped her authority and took the win by 18 seconds. Massive win after getting second with a crash last week in Fort William. Also, she would have been third in the elite women's. Whew. In the junior men's category, it is not the first time, and I am certain it will not be the last, but Thibaut Duprella took another solid win. This kid is so consistent, and he is well on his way to a perfect season. Let's see if he can do it. In the women's category, Kate Weatherly's been slowly working her way up the ranks, and it was so cool to see her get her best ever result in third place. And it was also very cool to see how surprised and just stoked she was. Really happy for her, and it'll be interesting to see how she gets on for the rest of the year. Maureen Cabarrou was the first person to show some serious pace on the live feed. She was top 3 on the splits, coming down into the bottom, and then hit a loose gravelly turn, 2 inside and washed it out. Very frustrating for her, but she still finished on the podium, which should be some consolation. Nina Hoffman was not shy in those jumps. She absolutely sent them with no holding back. That tells us 2 things. 1, she is not afraid of some major airtime, and 2, she was hauling. Definitely went the furthest out of all the women on that final jump. She also happened to claim her best ever result of second place. Might want to work on that squashing technique though. Rachel Atherton had an absolute nightmare crashing out of shot on the upper section. I went over to have a chat with her to find out what happened, and the video file got corrupted. But anyway, she told me that just after that off camber, you drop off the road into left-hander. She went a bit too hot, and then into that right-hander. She washed the front, tucked it over, went out the front door and landed on her head and side. It was a really big crash, not just a simple washout, but luckily she seems to be okay, and she was absolutely pumped for Tracy winning. Talking of Tracy, did you see her in the stump field? That murderous pole on that stump hooked her pedal and almost spat her off the bike. Luckily, she was unfazed and just cracked on, kept it super smooth down the bottom for a really, really tidy run. I went over to have a chat with her to see what it meant to her. This is cozy. Yeah. You looked a little bit emotional at the bottom of your run. Yeah, I'd say there was a solitary tear rolling down your cheek. Did this one mean quite a lot to you?
I guess so. Like, since World Champs in Cairns, I've kind of been fighting to get back up there. I was a bit burnt out after that race, and it's the first race I've won in a while, and it's the first World Cup I've ever won that Rachel's been in the start gate. I mean, when you beat someone like Rachel, it's like beating, like when I was young, my superhero was Anne Caroline, and I've literally felt like I've just, beaten, she's superhuman. Yeah. And it's like, to be able to be at the level that I can compete with her is like amazing.
I mean, I'll be honest, when I saw you come in and like I could see like you're tearing up, I was like, that is rad. I got a wee tear in my eye as well. And yeah, it's just really cool to see you happy, doing well, winning races.
Why did you cry?
I felt like I could relate almost. I don't know. I felt that pressure before and like you really want to do it. And then when you finally do it, it's just amazing. Like, congratulations. And hope you get some more.
Thank you. Should be a good end of season.
Yep. Perfect. Yes, Charlie Harrison, riding that bucking Bronco on that first off camber. He got a little bit wide coming into a compression. They stepped out, dug in, spat to 45 degrees, and he just didn't even flinch, didn't even take a foot off, just cracked on, 7th place. No bother, some boy. Bernard Kerr was another man that suffered with a crash out of view in that upper section. He came trickling down, dirt on his side, looking all sorry for himself. And then he must have got bored because he started absolutely pinning it. On that Roots of Aziz section, he took a line completely different to anyone else and went fastest. That happens to be the line I picked on the track walk. Seems like Laurie Greenland's bike had had enough of the abuse it was receiving and bucked Laurie off and then went galloping off into the sunset. I had a chat with Laurie earlier and he said he'd already had a washout further up the track, so his run was already done. He'll be back though. Once again, Troy Brosnan had an amazing run, but 2 things really stood out to me. One, on the setup before that last stump section, he got super wide and then railed that tricky turn that everyone was doing little half cranks out of. that was clearly faster than anyone else. And then 2, his exit of that stump field was, sublime. He gapped out of the turn into the last bit of the corner, got high of the little stump in the exit, and immediately on the gas. Oh, major respect, Troy, and well done in 3rd place too. Vergier, he was on for a top 3 finish. He was looking good, and then bang, 3rd corner from the end, down he went. The suddenness of it made me think he'd maybe clipped his handlebar on a course marker on the inside of the turn. Very hard to tell, and I was gutted for him. Loic Bruni has incredible control of his bike, where everyone was looking a little bit sketchy, the back wheel was maybe jumping from side to side, or the riders were getting unweighted. Bruni just goes. He's so stable, and I felt like either it's bike setup or it's technique. I went to have a chat with him to see what he thought.
One thing that really stood out to me in your run when I was watching is, compared to everyone else, you managed to keep the back end of your bike really settled. Like when I'm watching people, they're like bouncing, like skipping about, and to me, I feel like you have really good control of the bike with your legs. But do you think it's that, or do you think it's setup, or what do you think it is?
Well, I think it's a bit of everything, but for sure, like this morning I was feeling a little bit kicked by the bike. I was not so... I felt like if I was pushing more, I would get kicked too much and struggle in my braking points and stuff. And we slowed down the rebound a lot for the race.
Okay,
We were like, okay, we didn't do any run with like that, and then we were like, okay, I think it's a good choice for the race.
Cool.
And when I started, already this first of Canberra, it has some like some kick.
Big,
And I was not feeling pushed by the bikes. I was not the passenger so much. I was a little bit controlling it more, and I think that was a good change.
Oh no!
So, yeah.
Look at us.
Don't look us.
I got sponsored by Mercedes.
No. Yeah, just well done. Yes.
Thank you, Ben.
See you in Andorra.
And you know that this morning I watched your Cathrovision. I was checking inside the whole time before the motorway, and I was like, I'm missing something there. And then avoid that stump.
Yeah.
Pedal my way like.
Yeah. That's what I thought would be best. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Well, no problem.
Like Loic was saying there, he took a super patient line into that motorway section, and I think that won him the race. Yeah, I'm going to claim it. I'm responsible for Bruni's I can't give a straight face. And he sat in the hot seat for a good while because he was early down, and then the only man that looked like he was going to challenge Bruni, Greg Minnaar, fastest qualifier. I went to chat with Minnaar to see how his run went.
Gregory, it's been a while since I've seen a race, and I've actually been on the edge of my seat as the last rider's coming down. And holy crap, you were getting closer and closer and closer. Did you know you were on a good one?
Well, I knew it was okay. I hit my pedal real hard, and I thought, shit, it might have come loose in the crank or something. So I got through that was before I entered the stump section. So, you know, that section's alright, you know, there's nothing too gnarly, but as I got into motorway, pedaling, I was like, okay, things are fine, let's back on track, let's go for it. But over jump 1 or 2 jumps on there, and I was like, I need to sharpen the rod. I was like, down to the bottom, was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I knew I could, I knew I had some good lines and some things slightly different to everyone else. And as I got down the waterfall into that right-hander, I got it pretty good. As I got in the corner, I dabbed the brakes. And I had to pedal to do the step down, and I was like, oh, if I lose this is where I've lost it.
Yeah. And what was it, 0.3?
Yeah.
No quali, 10th, second. I guess the only next logical step's first time.
I hope so. I mean, it'd be nice to win in Andorra. It's a good place to win.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good luck for that, and cheers.
Thank you. Thanks for it.
So yes, that was one heck of a race. Let us know what your favourite bit was down in the comments, and we will see you at round 4 in Valnord, Andorra. Catch you then.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Good.